and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Lucy, would you call the roll, please?
Ginger Shank,
Here.
Jens Wires,
Here.
Sarah James,
Here.
Frankie Schwartz,
Here.
Jeff Schneider,
Here.
Rich Martin,
Here.
Carolyn Sprague.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Everybody. I would entertain a motion to amend or adopt the agenda.
I make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
I'll second.
You. Motion's been made, seconded to approve the agenda as presented. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion passes. We have no recognitions tonight.
That's right, we just moved them to next month.
Right. Do we have any patron comments? I'm thinking probably not.
No
Unless
patrons.
one of you wants to speak. Superintendent reports.
Sure, just, this is our couple of reports here. We got the CSIP, just an update on this. This is our final update on this CSIP. We will be adopting a new CSIP for future years later on in the agenda. But just kind of wrap up this one, kind of where this one landed, where we are. So process that we developed this one is the same as we did the new one, where we had 36 people come together. We had surveys out, information, studied, and then we reviewed the goals, and then they made goals. So just kind of update on where we are. So the first one on this was A+ eligibility, and we slipped back. We're at 19% in 2022, went up to 24, then up to 25, turning well. Then we slipped backwards last year. I don't have a great reasoning for that, because we did the same things we did years prior. So kind of got to go back to the drawing board on that one. But that one, we did well, but we didn't meet it our last year. Second goal, reading levels. We're at 71%, so we're kind of just hanging out right there. Not exactly where we want to be, but that we've kept that as a goal. We'll keep working on that as well. The last one here is to collect longitudinal math data. I put met, not met, because we do have it in Pulse, but then that's going away. So we did what we do in 2022. We got accomplished, but we weren't able to launch it because it's going away. But we did have a really promising meeting today with the folks from Tableau on transitioning. So hopefully we can get that up and running fairly shortly. So anyway, that's not quite met. So health and well-being of students. This was, of course, when we wrote this one, we were coming out of COVID and all those things. So in 2022, we were able to add some more things to our website. Then 22, we wanted to see a decrease in discipline referrals, and we did not meet that. Then staff retention, we were seeing improvements in staff, but we did not hit the goal of 90%. We're at 82, 84, 85. 85 might be one of the best years we've ever had, so but just still short of the goal. Keep salaries the same as Wright City, that did not happen. And offer additional mental health options to staff, which we established that in 2023, and so that's that. Parent and community engagement, we wanted, of course, this is our academic platform, kind of similar to before, met, not met. We're really close on this one. This is something we're going to keep working on for sure. And really going to be one of the big pillars that we try to establish. Goal 2, host an event, which we did, and then increase partnerships between the business community, which we did as well. So facilities and finance, we did not need trailers, so we met that. Create an early childhood facility. We're on the path, but we haven't done it yet. So I feel like we're moving very well in that direction. And then the bus fleet, we were able to get that up to 2016, so that's met. So that's our last CSIP.
The question I have is, for the upcoming next couple of months, whenever people present and they say how things are doing that align with the CSIP goals, are they going to be explaining those in how they align with this cycle?
It'll be with this one. So 2024 is kind of the end of, it'll be this year's 24, 25.
Okay,
And then next year's will be the when we're implementing the new one.
great.
Because a lot of those building goals that they've been working on were established at the beginning of the school year.
Yeah.
Right.
And so they'll just kind of carry that on.
And it matches with what you were just talking
Right.
about.
Great.
So. Okay, finance.
Yep, finance one. Okay, so this is kind of a little bit, it's our normal monthly one, but it's gonna look a little different. So mainly on the revenue side. Revenues are down compared to last year, and that is really mainly due to the tax bills just getting out late and us getting taxes late. We're about $1.4 million less this month than we had this month last year. So that's gonna play a big impact on our report this month. But we are gonna get that money, hopefully, this upcoming month, assuming people pay their taxes. But the bills came out so much later than normal. By the time the county got on, processed them to us, it's just a little bit delayed. So anyway, so revenues are down, about 3%. That's a pretty big number. And so operating expenses are up a little bit, and that's, our operating expenses increase is mainly due to the increase in, of course, salaries and that sort of thing, but that's what we were expecting. But we had an increase in our insurance cost, so property insurance, so it was up quite significant. So increase in expenses, decrease in revenue, not a great formula that you want to see. So we're seeing our fund balances drop compared to last year pretty significantly, 24%. So this is what our chart looks like. So you can kind of see that we're the orange this year, so we can see our fund balance drop. That it had, not getting that payment this month had a significant impact on our fund balances this month. But what we should see next month, assuming that people pay their taxes correctly, is that we'll come back in line. We'll probably be just a little bit lower than that green line was last year, but probably between the green and the blue line. So we're not worried about our position at all, but it is not great. December is always kind of a wild card on how much revenue we're going to get from the county. So that's what we're seeing here right now. And then of course the revenues are down, so it's reflecting that about $1.4 million that we were short compared to last year. The local side, the county side is about, we're up a little bit there. State's up, of course that's the double payment on early childhood special education that we're seeing there. That's almost the exact payment that we received. Federal's down, we just didn't have COVID, so it's about $360,000 in COVID money we got last year, we're not going to get this year. So that's about right on. And then, so right now we're about $650,000 less in revenue total than we received this time last year. So expenses, of course, salaries are up, and benefits are up because we gave raises. Then purchase services are up. That has a lot to do with insurance cost increase, and also, like for the first time we paid for all our SROs, and special education costs are up as well. So the supplies are up a little bit, but nothing too alarming. So we're spending about $2 million more than we have this year. So that's kind of where we are. Fund 4, we saw that drop too. We just made a big payment for our buses from last year, so that dropped that down. And also this is relying on our tax funds coming in too, so that'll bounce back up. And we should probably end the year a little bit over $1 million in that account. But right now it's the low point on our finances for sure. But I do think we'll be fine. Bond issue, just keeps you updated on that. We received $9.9 million in revenue, and we spent about $1 million so far. And our fund balance right now is on that. We have about $8 million right now before we need more money. So that's kind of what's going on with the money.
Anybody have any questions? We all know the fund balance. Well, yeah, we all know that's going to pop back up when we start getting the local taxes. So I don't think anybody gets too.
Yeah, I don't think it's anything to be alarmed about, but it is showing that we're.
Right.
Makes a big impact when those tax bills go out.
Okay. That's everything on the finance,
Yes,
right?
that's right.
Okay, so next thing is an update on candidate filing.
Yep, so we've, candidate filing is closed for this election, and we have 2 people signed up for 2 spots. So Keith Harbison and Stephanie Tibbetts have signed up, and so since there's 2 for 2, we will not need an election. So I'd like to thank Sarah and Ginger for your service to the board. We'll have an official thing in April for you. But
And until about 20 minutes ago, they were both going to be here tonight.
okay.
But they each had something come up.
Sure.
Stephanie had to go rescue her husband in Wentzville. She didn't know for sure what was going on there. She is very anxious to meet everybody. You guys have all met Keith.
Right.
but Stephanie really wanted to be here tonight and meet everybody, but she got a call, come and get me. I don't know what happened with him. And Keith's wife didn't get home in time. He said she's gonna have to change her scheduling on certain Thursdays pretty soon, so. But anyway, they both wanted to be here, so I heard
Cool.
from both of them about the time the tow truck got there. Next is the consent agenda.
I move the approval of the consent agenda as presented.
Jeff,
I'll second.
I think Rich got to it first. Thank you, Rich. Motion's been made and seconded to approve the consent agenda as presented. Does anybody have any questions about anything there, or is there any discussion about anything? If not, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay.
I do
Jeff?
need to
Oh.
abstain from
Yes.
Yeah.
the personnel.
The personnel sheet, that is correct. So, you got that right, Lucy?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, I know we talked about that. Somewhere in this last hour and a half, that disappeared from my head. I'm sure you can understand. Okay, so motion passes. We have no old business, and the new business is the new CSIP plan, correct?
Correct, and this was a good process, I thought. You know, we had 2 meetings with the CSIP committee. It was about 36 people total on the committee. Not everybody can make every meeting, but first meeting, we reviewed the old CSIP. Then they asked questions and collected data, so we collected a bunch of data and shared that out with the committee. The committee then reviewed all of that data, came back together, broke into groups of, and then developed these goals. And then from those goals, we put together the action steps to meet the goals. And this is kind of where we are on that. So I can go into more detail, less detail. I know a couple of you were involved with this, and I've sent the goals out to you before. So.
I liked reading through the action steps, because like I was, the group that I was in, it was interesting to see what you came up with, you know, for action steps to work on those goals. So, but I thought things looked good. I don't know if everybody else kind of had a chance to look, and
I have a
anybody
couple
has any
questions.
questions about
Yeah,
anything?
sure.
So, on student achievement goal 2, action step 2, is there a reason why it's 2029?
Oh, that's a typo, probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good catch.
Action
So
step
we need
2.
another minute on it, so we need to
Yeah,
more
yeah.
years.
Good catch.
And then on
Let me fix
goal 1 in student achievement, we have it at 20%, but it looks like this year we hit 19%. Previously, it was 24 and 25%. Would you want to have that higher than 20%, considering 2 out of the 3 years of the last
Sure.
one, it was at higher than that?
So what I try to do, I really don't mess with the goals too much. You know, I kind of try to honor the work of the committees and not really tweak those too much. Now, the board, if you feel like that's not the right spot, feel free to adjust it. I typically just take whatever I get from the committees and use those to honor the work of those folks. But we definitely have the authority and ability to change that if you like.
Is this the A+ one?
Correct.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So, what have our numbers been again?
What is
19,
19, yeah.
sorry, 19, then it was 24, then it was 25%, and then it went back to 19%.
Okay. So we're almost there. I think it'd be great if we could increase to 25% and maintain that, because we had it at one time and then lost it, right?
Are we talking about the number of kids that utilize it?
Correct, yeah.
Well, I think that's just secular though, because I mean, you know,
Depends on the group of kids.
well, yeah, I mean, I think it's a great thing for kids to have that option. It's not the option that I would choose for my kids, even though I made my kids both do the A+ work, because it's something that you can use in the future, and you don't know what the future holds, so maybe you go to try to 4-year university, it doesn't work out, and you come home, you can still utilize that. I think that's probably still in place. So I think it's always a good thing to get our kids enrolled in those types of things and gives them something to shoot for. But I mean, but I think those are all good avenues, but it doesn't matter what you set your numbers at, it's gonna be, it's just,
Do we know what aspect of the program made us drop below 20% this past year?
Yeah, it's gonna be
Attendance
Algebra
or-
1. Being proficient in Algebra 1 is what, then the tutoring hours are,
Oh,
but
Yeah,
Algebra,
tutoring hours.
Algebra 1 is really the toughest.
because they still have to
Be proficient,
proficient in Algebra 1 to get A+,
correct.
no doubt about it.
mhm.
You probably don't know this, but it just popped into my head. Do we know what percentage of students that achieve the A+ utilize it when they leave high school?
I don't know.
It's counselors probably have.
Yeah, we could
So-
probably track that down.
I think it needs to be said, though, that just because you go through A+ doesn't necessarily mean, like you said, you had your kids do it. My son got a $2,000 scholarship from Truman because he had it. And he was going in a four-year school.
Some universities do that.
Yeah, they gave him $500 a year,
Yeah.
because he had A+. So I think it's important that kids know that too. And I'm sure that the counselors try to share that information.
Especially
but-
private,
Is
private
one of the
universities especially.
action steps on that is
Okay.
to promote the benefits of A+ to all
Okay.
students.
Yeah.
So that's-
So,
That's good.
you're correct.
Keep them
Yes.
informed of their status.
So Carolyn, you're saying you would like to increase the percentage a little bit more since in the past we've achieved a higher number?
Yes, since 2 out of the 3 years of this goal, last CSIP cycle, it was achieved, I would aim for it to at least be, you know, what we have shown to be able to achieve or higher, you know.
Is it being counted the same because the way the goal was written last time was 3% over the CSIP cycle? So is this apple to apples as far as measurement?
Yeah, they did change the way they wanted to measure it, but we can go whatever direction you like.
No, I'm just
Yeah.
curious that, we're hanging our hats on 24 and 25%, but was that the same way we would calculate it? in this
How
new
how
CSIP?
I read it was 24 and 25% of that graduating class
Correct.
is what those numbers are. But previously it was like increasing by 3% each year
No, it's
versus.
an increase through the CSIP cycle.
Yes,
So
yes,
within
yes.
3 years to
Right.
increase by
Oh.
3%.
Oh.
Got it, okay.
I think that they changed that because it's confusing,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
so this is a little bit cleaner, like each year we want to be above 20%, this was
Yes.
what their target was. And that's what that work group came up with.
So that makes some sense because we've been at 19, we've been above 20. We've been,
Is one of the action steps, I didn't read it in there, but is one of the action steps to really focus it on the algebra?
Continue to
Yes.
bring the grant to
Continue to
algebra
bring
one.
for algebra 1. Okay, cool beans.
Which kind of enables two of the aspects, right? Because students can tutor for Algebra 1.
Correct.
that's true too.
So makes sense for that to be.
A lot of our kids will
action
tutor
steps.
on Monday care days, they'll come
Yeah.
down, it's a great opportunity for them to come get some tutoring hours.
I definitely understand what you're saying, Carolyn, right? I mean, it feels like we want goals to be achievable, but knowing we've been at 24 and 25, it kind of feels like a layup, but knowing that we slipped to 19, and we've been at 23 or 24, I would say absolutely, we need to up that. But knowing that we slipped to 19 this past year, I like the consistency of just make sure we're at 20% every year.
Who was on the CSIP committee? Who was there?
First year achievement.
But Carolyn, we were on,
I was on school,
Right.
culture and climate.
Oh, yeah.
and Frankie was on finance, so we didn't have anybody
finance.
from the board on
Okay.
this subcommittee.
What would y'all like to do?
I think I'd still like to keep it with what the committee said, simply out of what you said about honoring it. However, as a board, we can still we can still have our own, hopes for it to, we're still watching and wanting it to see it increase. But
As this is my first time writing a CSIP, if we meet it next year, can we, like,
Oh, yeah.
push
Yeah, sure.
for the following year, like improving it
Yeah,
further?
this is a living document, it's supposed to be, it's not something that's set in stone forever, but yeah,
Okay.
definitely.
Yeah, that's a good point. I like that
Yeah.
idea.
Okay. And then I have more questions.
Yeah.
So then going down to, school culture and climate. Not sure where Okay, going to goal 2 and action step 1. Could we bump up the completion date on that one?
Oh, sure, yeah, I just put that as the end of the year on that, because we'll have to report on that every year.
Okay.
And so I just put that as the end date. Yeah, we can put that May 26th. Yeah,
Okay.
that's no problem.
And then goal 3 in school culture and climate. This one, and mind you, I was on this committee, but with the action steps, we haven't included anything as far as the students or the other stakeholders.
Okay.
And while I'd believe that administration and staff definitely affect school culture and climate, I'd like to see what the students think and what their thoughts are as well.
So do we want to change the goal then from,
Not changing the goal, but
Okay.
having an action step.
like, surveying students?
Yes.
Which we do annually, we can definitely add that, that's easy.
Okay.
Okay, so, survey students. That's not a problem.
And then the same on goal 4.
Yep.
Kind of refocusing on the students as well.
Yeah, that'll definitely help our percentages, because we get great return from our students, so it's part of an assignment, you know, so.
Perfect.
So we get a high, that'll definitely help us achieve the goal, that's a good idea. Yeah, I can add that to 3 and 4, no problem.
Okay.
What ages take the surveys?
Well, where do we send those out, Brad? Is it middle school, high school?
High school for sure.
Yeah. And I want to say elementary, I have to get back to you. I know the middle school and high school is to go out as part of the NAE surveys. I don't think elementary.
Sounds good. I'm just
Yeah.
imagining my first grader, like, being like, it's great.
It's not, yeah, those young kids don't.
Yeah.
I think third grade now.
Third grade up, I'm,
Third grade?
yeah, I thought it was upper
So
middle.
the map testing age
Right.
is,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, so we definitely have some surveys going to them.
That makes sense, because third grade, you get a little bit more independent readers and stuff, and before that, it would be difficult, I would say, right?
Yes.
I mean, not for every kid, but for
Yeah.
a lot of the kids.
For the whole class, yeah.
Yes. Okay, anything else, Carolyn, or anybody else?
The only other thing that I had was on the surveys, a lot of the action steps after that are about evaluating the responses. Once the responses are evaluated, what are we doing to improve the outcomes?
Yeah, so we take those results, evaluate those, and share those with building principals, and then share them with teachers, and everyone works on, you know, try to come up with a game plan to solve that specific. Because I thought about that too in the action steps. How could we word all of that when really you don't know the results? So you would take the results, analyze the results, work with them at the staff level and staff, then whatever that issue is, works on ways to fix that. So I wasn't 100% sure how to put that in action step, so I just said we would analyze the results, I think. But we can add something there, because that's what the whole idea is, to improve from the results of the survey.
So when you looked at the results of the survey and discussed them with the various groups and come up with a game plan, what does that game plan look like, and how do you continue to communicate that with different administrators or different buildings? What's that look like?
Right, so it's gonna be different for wherever the issue is, so it's kind of a, what is the issue, and what are we trying to solve? So a lot of times we'll review the data, and then we'll typically, I meet quarterly with all the building administrators, and we sit down and go over this information. And then they will then meet with staff on that, and everyone's kind of reflecting on it and trying to come up with a plan. So we just have kind of an ongoing conversation about it each quarter that we meet, and more often too. And we meet monthly as a full administrative team, so if there's any major issues district-wide, we're trying to tackle them at that point as well. So it's just a matter of ongoing communication of, are we meeting, are we getting better? Because we survey every quarter, and so we then relook at the data. Did the data change in any way? Did we get the results we wanted? When we did, great, let's keep doing the good things. We didn't, well, we need to adjust our plan. So it's kind of on the fly, a lot of it, but we're, we are just trying to focus on improvement all the time. So I'm not really 100% sure to put that in action step exactly.
Could you put, meet with building administrators and develop a plan to assess the cause for computing.
Right,
For,
right.
like, lower,
I think he gets.
To improve
yeah,
service scores.
Yeah, so
Yes.
something in there so that,
Yeah.
this is like the roadmap for the next 3 years.
Right.
Yeah.
And
To address a plan, to come up with a plan to address any lower
Yeah.
scores.
And then,
That
like,
makes sense.
monthly check-ins on how that's going or whatever.
Yeah. Sounds good.
I know that this is things that you're doing, but like having it
Yeah.
in this as like, this is what we do,
Makes
I think
sense.
makes it look nice.
That's good.
My question is for focus area of facilities and financial growth, goal number 3, was there an underlying concern why the group wanted to have this as a goal, or is it simply to balance it with goal number 1, since goal number 1 is about classroom sizes in the elementary buildings, and so were stakeholders wanting to just make sure that we had something for middle school and high school that we weren't forgetting? Is
I
that what it was?
can
Yeah.
speak to that,
Great.
yes, because I was in that group. We had a high school staff person in the group who had some concerns about, are we paying attention there too? We're working on stuff for elementary, but are we paying attention to high school as well? And then another person who was in the group, maybe there were I guess there were 4 of us, but another person has some ties to the middle school and was also saying, there's some concerns with facilities there because one part of the middle school is our oldest building of all on any campus, the 6th grade hall, basically. And so just to keep the focus balanced, I think, like you said,
Okay.
they just wanted to make sure that we're keeping that in our view too, because probably that'll be the next
I think we
place.
are. I think it's on our minds
I
for growth,
do
right?
too.
But
I do
it's
too.
good to have it on a piece of paper.
But they felt like having that as one of the goals would be good and make them feel better.
Great,
about
yeah, I didn't know if
things.
there was a concrete concern, or if it was more of just the abstract of making sure that it's balanced, because we have pre-K that we're
Right,
on
right.
the radar and that's, okay.
Right.
Cool.
Just questions about, are we watching that too? And like Deanna just said, yes, it's definitely on the radar, but I think it makes people feel good to see it as a goal, just to know that we're not letting it be forgotten or something, so.
Certainly. Okay. I don't have any more questions.
Okay. Anybody else? So Greg, you've got notes on
I do.
things that you're gonna add.
Right, so I will add
change,
this tomorrow and then send it out.
Okay.
So if we want to approve it as amended, and then just
Okay.
let me know if I missed anything. And then
Okay.
we'll just go back and forth till we get it right. And then
Okay.
we'll put it on the website once we have it where we need to be.
Polished,
Yeah.
okay. So if someone would like to move the approval as amended, that would be great.
I'll make a motion to approve the CSIP as amended that we discussed.
I'll second it.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded to approve the CSIP plan as amended tonight. Any other comments or questions? All those in favor say aye. Opposed, nay, and it is approved. We have no policy first reads, so we are down to celebrations. That's your
We've
camera.
been out of school for so long, but I was talking a little bit earlier that I would like to give a celebration that we're gonna have coming up, through the athletic department on the 24th of January. We're gonna celebrate the district championship basketball team of 1995. This is the 30th anniversary. It was, so we're gonna invite the boys and the team out on that night, and Coach Sullivan, and I think Coach Sullivan's gonna be there, who was my assistant for those 4 years, and, so that's gonna be exciting. The kids are all excited about coming back. It's the night that we play Orchard Farm, which is one of our bigger rivalries right now. And one of our players on the 95 team's son plays for Orchard Farm, so it's gonna be a good night. So we're all looking forward to that and getting together and celebrating the 94-95 class, senior class, and the junior class that year, their district championship.
That sounds fun.
I thought I saw that the boys basketball team did some Christmas cheer at the,
They did.
the
Cookies?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What
Over
was
at Oak
it? Was
Point?
it assistant Oak Point? Yeah. I
Yeah.
know, so.
Yeah.
And so they looked so festive.
It was fun.
Yeah.
That's
That
cool.
was good.
And I know we've had some alumni games, girls alumni game played and guys alumni game. And so that's fun. Each year they've been doing.
A lot of those 94-95 guys were there, and they did not look as good as they did in 94-95.
That'll happen.
I mean, they looked good, but, they were hurting.
So if we can get back to school on Tuesday, that'll be a celebration.
I mean,
right?
I think for everybody.
I think the
including
parents are
myself.
ready,
Me too.
from what I'm
Yeah.
hearing.
It is, yeah.
But we need to keep everybody safe, so.
That's right.
Okay. Workshop topics. We're gonna have a workshop on the 23rd.
Yeah, we'll
weeks
need
from
to,
tonight.
our first day of negotiations is on the 5th of, I think it's the 5th, let me check that. The 3rd,
I was gonna say the 5th is a Wednesday.
yeah. I think that's the right date, I'll need to double check all that. And we will, need to kind of get that lined out on what we're gonna do, for negotiations, so.
So that will be closed session on the
Correct.
23rd, correct? Since we're discussing personnel and negotiations.
Negotiation, yeah,
Okay.
preparing for negotiations.
Okay. And we'll start at 5.
If that works for everybody.
Okay.
Works.
All right, and then we need to set the next regular meeting.
I make a motion to set the next regular Board of Education meeting for February 13th, 2025.
Thank you, Carolyn.
I'll second.
Thank you, Deanna. Motion's been made and seconded to set the next regular Board of Education meeting for February 13, 2025. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion passes. And then I need a motion for closed session.
I'll make a motion to set the next closed Board of Education meeting to immediately precede the open session on February 13th, 2025.
I'll second.
Motion's been made and seconded to set the next closed Board of Education meeting to immediately precede the open session on February 13, 2025. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion passes, and I need you to
So moved.
adjourn us.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
And there's a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. And we are adjourned.
Good night.
Guys.
Be careful.